Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Okay. After narrowly escaping death at the hands of an evil witch's children in a frickin' gingerbread house, the brother and sister team of Hansel and Gretel grow up to be badass demon witch killers in hot leather pants with kick-ass weapons only made available in fairy tale kingdoms. After Muriel, who's played by Famke Janssen, did I say that? I did, comes to a small town they're protecting, their skills as well as their past get tested in an all-out bitch-witch battle for the ages. I wrote that. That's awesome. Okay, when it comes to the story, I know I'm the only one that saw it that's here. I actually think the concept worked pretty well. I walked in this flick not very high on it at all. We talked about it, a week ago. Wasn't really that interested in it. I like Gemma Arterton. I kind of like Jeremy Renner, except he likes to play himself a lot. But the movie itself seemed like it was going too far. But the over-the-top, balls-out, awful, bloody affair that the movie ends up being just won me over after 10 minutes. I mean, It is fucking ridiculous.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
And it acts like it's ridiculous from the minute it starts. It never once takes itself seriously. It never once seems like it's trying to be too much. Where I thought that's kind of where Van Helsing didn't always do it for me, is because I think there were times where it seemed like it was taking itself too seriously. Mm-hmm. This thing is cheeky all the way. They just don't care. The acting, Gemma Arterton, Brian said it best when we walked out, because we went and saw this together. There's not a flaw.
Aww.
I know, right?
There's a little bromance.
I went and visited him in Georgia. We went and saw, and you'd think I would have picked up a better accent, but that's what I had.
Is he not here because he's got mono from you?
That's what we're calling it. There is not a flaw on that woman, and I don't mean just because she's simply stunning to look at. I mean, from my 2 cents, I think she's one of those rare actresses to me, like a Jennifer Lawrence, where she just holds a screen. When she's on the screen, for whatever reason, I just can't take my eyes off her. And it's not just because she's attractive. I just think she has that charisma that works for me. So I loved watching her. Jeremy Renner played Jeremy Renner. I think at this point, he and Mark Wahlberg should just do a buddy pick, because both of them played just themselves in every movie, except The Town. That's the only exception I'm giving him.
But what about his accent? Was his accent and Gemma Arterton's still so different? Because I can't get past that.
Yours is good. Actually, Brian said, because Brian is the one that had the issue with the accents.
God damn accents! Shit.
I can't handle when there's different accents. You don't even notice it in the movie, really, because once you see the tone in the movie, and none of that shit matters. It really, I don't. They could have both just stopped doing the script and just start ad-libbing. It still would have been fun.
Yeah.
It was one of those kind of movies.
I imagine there's not a whole lot of canon to Hansel and Gretel.
No, but those two really work well together.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Jeremy Renner is just Jeremy Renner, when they're together, they're interesting to watch. When they're apart, not as much. That's what I will say, that's kind of where the film would drag for me, is when they got separated from each other for a little portion of the movie, because they actually work well together. And they never, I was worried that they wouldn't come, because they're both attractive people. I'm like, I'm not going to buy them as brother or sister. At some point, they're going to start making out. And they came across well.
That's just in Star Wars.
Yeah. Famke Janssen as the evil witch was actually a really strong villain, but she's in makeup for most of the time, or CGI, whichever it is. So you can't see her emote, and you can't really see her act for a large portion of the movie. You'd think if you hire someone as noticeable as Famke Janssen, that you would actually put her in a role where she's mostly seen. But most of the movie, she's actually, in witch makeup. That kind of distracted me a little bit. The director, Tommy Wirkola, who is famous for absolutely nothing to this point, does a pretty decent job. I didn't notice any effects or shots that were poorly done. And the movie moves at a really fast clip. I didn't see it in 3D, but some of the shots made me really wish I had. I mean, there's a lot of blood just splattering at the screen. A couple really clever decapitations, that kind of thing. And I want to reiterate that it's not a PG-13 fun movie. This is rated R, and they gut the fuck out of these witches. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty good. My verdict.
Just keep waiting for Hugh Jackman to show up.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah. My verdict: good, bloody, dumb fun. This is a movie that is completely for entertainment, nothing else. This movie has a ton of bad reviews. I don't care. It reminds me a lot of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, so I give it 6.5 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I'm sorry, I wrote it down. 7 out of 10.